What's up, North County? I'm your host, Randy Doty, and today we are talking California Mid-State Fair with Colleen, CEO of Paso Robles Event Center.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I am doing awesome.
Excellent.
Awesome with the rain.
Little wet.
Great.
Little wet. I brought it with me.
So tell me a little bit about the ride so far.
Yeah, it's been a crazy one. It's been a crazy ride, but last year we came back. We were full steam ahead was our theme last year, and we brought as much back as we possibly could. There were still some hiccups as far as, not everybody was ready to get back into it, but this year we have a full carnival, we have full concessionaires, which is food, we have full shopping, and our livestock show, exhibits, everything's back full force and we're ready to go. So it'll be a fun year. This year's theme is Shake, Rattle, and Roll. It is a vintage Vegas type theme. Think Elvis, Frank Sinatra,
Oh, nice.
that kind of thing, neon. So it'll be a lot of fun. It'll be a lot of fun.
How do you select those names?
The themes actually come from our exhibit department. Tisha Tucker's in charge of that, and she is fabulous at thinking of themes. So typically at a staff meeting, we'll all sit down and throw out the general idea, like we might say Vegas, or we might say, country western. We might say something like, we just want to have a general theme of a decade or something. And then she comes up with these cute little sayings. So the shake, rattle, and roll.
She's the creative person.
She's the creative person for sure.
Very awesome.
Yeah.
So Colleen, you've been with the Mid-State Fair for quite some time.
30 years. I've been working there for 30 years. And then prior to that, I was a 4-H exhibitor. I had steers, I had goats, I had dog.
Because you're born and raised here.
Born and raised here,
Awesome.
4th generation from here. And the fair's been an important part of my life for a long time. Plus, it was back, when I was younger, the fair was in August. And so my sister and I have birthdays in August. And so it was our birthday. It was, what do you want to do for your birthday? Let's go to the fair. So, or we're at the fair because your sister has an animal.
So it's funny, you bring up a really interesting fact that you're right. The fair used to be in August.
Yeah.
And then you had the next Monday you went to school because school started.
Right, exactly.
And now it's like the fair is like slowly
Shifted.
back to July.
Yes. So the original fair was in September, in mid-September. Our very first fair in 46 was in September, and maybe it was 45. It was 45. And then as it transitioned, it just kind of moved up and up and up, and then it was in August in the 80s for a long time.
Right.
And then it just kind of switched to mid-July. A lot of it has to do with the fact that how other fairs schedules work, how state fair works, just so that we aren't on top of other fairs, because our vendors typically do the circuit. They'll do a lot of different fairs. And so we want to make sure that if they're coming from Santa Maria to our fair, that we're not on top of Santa Maria.
Right.
Or the other one is Ventura on the other side of us. So we just kind of make that happen. State Fair, unfortunately, about 15 years ago, they moved and they're on top of us. And they're like a month long. So we can't really say, excuse me. But we've just tried to stick with these dates. It seems to work well. Gives our staff time after the fair to be at home with their families before school starts, and gives the kids some time to have a little breath before school starts. So,
and it's a interesting thing that I never even knew, but most of you guys are state employees,
mm-hmm.
and so it's not, you just don't work during the fair and it's like, okay, We'll see you next year, guys. You're working as soon as the fair closes. You're
Absolutely.
Working towards next year.
Absolutely. As far as state employees go, we are state employees. We're the 16th District Agricultural Association. Fairs fall under Department of Fairs and Expositions, California Department of Food and Ag. So that is where some fairs get funding. We unfortunately get no funding from the state, so we are a business in that aspect. We have to follow state guidelines, but they don't give us any money for it. There's just a handful of us that are true civil service state employees, and then we have part-time employees that come in. But it's a labor of love. It's all year, and we start planning for next year as soon as, I mean, during fair, typically we're looking at things, seeing what we can change, seeing what's out there as far as entertainment, because some entertainment puts their schedules together early. Others might be May by the time they decide they want to work in July.
and what's usually the general consensus of these entertainers that come through little old Paso Robles? I mean, what's usually their comments?
We are definitely unique. I mean, fairs typically don't have the budget that we have for entertainment. We've decided a long time ago, back in Maynard days, that was a focus, that we wanted to help draw people to Paso Robles, and it worked. And it's one of those that if it's not broke, don't fix it. And we enjoy it. We have a good time putting it on, and we think that we have support from our community for it.
Because you guys bring in a lot of good acts.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that Paso Robles has Luke Bryan, the fact that we've had Aerosmith. I mean, these aren't Kiss.
Garth Brooks.
These are all names that you would never think would come to Paso Robles. And we luckily have the venue that we can do it, and we have the support from our community to do it.
Because, I mean, you like you say, to mention some of these names, and you have Garth Brooks that sold out in
seconds.
How long?
Yeah.
In seconds. And so did he opt to have that second show, or was that something that you guys went to him with?
So no, he basically told us, you're having a second show. Wow. So it was like, oh, okay, well, okay, you're Garth Brooks.
Yeah.
And we can do it. So
wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, we luckily, a friend of the fair, he used to work at the fair, is I don't know if he's his manager or something, but Randy Bernard, and he used to be the CEO of PBR, and he's moved on and works with Ghost Entertainment, which is Garth Brooks, and he helped bring
awesome.
that. Yeah. So we have cool. some really great contacts, and that is truly an unbelievable feat. And hopefully, we can make that magic happen again sometime, but we'll see.
Well, I mean,
it's one in a million, really.
Well, let's see some of the, so not only that, you had that, and then you had, was it Motley Crue?
Yes.
Where the power,
yes.
Remember there was the heat, and
so Motley Crue actually was the one that they were in Washington. They were a fly-in, and their plane had a hole in it, and so they didn't get another plane until I think it was like 10 o'clock. So they didn't go on until midnight. We got a lot of bad feedback.
I remember
from
that
one.
That was
because it was loud, right? And so people did not enjoy having loud music that late at night, and it was hot.
And, you had to stay hydrated.
Yep.
But it was a great concert.
It was, and again, Motley Crue. I mean, they're doing stadiums, and it's really unusual to get that kind of thing to come to the Mid-State Fair. So that's the hard part is, you look at these performers and you think, oh yeah, they can come to the fair. I mean, Garth came to our fair. Why couldn't they come to our fair? And it's hard. It's hard to get them to come because the fair has a stigma of being lesser. Mm-hmm. And so, but once that our entertainment buyer goes to the management and says, look, we've had all these people. We've had Keith Urban. We've had Reba McEntire. We've had all these people, George Strait. They go, wow, really? Let's look into this and see if they're legit. So
well, we were just talking about that, to the fairs, amongst fairs, the California Mid-State Fair really is on a level on its own.
Absolutely. And of course, I think we're the best fair in the state.
Biggest little fair anywhere.
We are the biggest little fair anywhere. And we just have a beautiful facility. Our staff is top notch. They really take pride in our grounds, our facilities. I mean, they're just always trying to make it better. From our maintenance staff to our administration staff to our publicity staff. I mean, they all just are trying to make every fair the best fair they possibly can. And I think we do a good job at doing that. I mean, I say we have the best and cleanest bathrooms of any fair in the state, and I do believe that.
Oh yeah. I think we've all seen some of those.
Right. Exactly.
But not only the presentation on the grounds, I mean, just I like the waterfall where you got to walk up around, and now you can't do that.
Right.
We get it.
Yeah,
but,
unfortunately.
Yeah, but that's super cool. The way that has evolved into what it is, what Maynard's Mountain.
Right, Maynard's Mountain. Yep. Yeah, Maynard had that built. He had the mountain brought in. Piled up the dirt and the rocks and made the waterfalls. It was a beautiful thing to walk through. I loved doing that as a kid, so I was really sad when we had to close it. But, the world changes and regulations change, and that's just the way it had to be. But, there's maybe a way we can figure something out for that.
Well, there's always something to do.
There's always something. Yes, there is always something.
And that's the thing is, on the Paso Robles Event Center, you guys have... you just had 3 speckled hens last weekend. Mm-hmm. You have the quarter horse show that's, huge, starting today. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's the biggest one of the year.
Yes, it's always used. We use the facility year round, and there's always something happening at the fair. It's really a great thing. We unfortunately know what it's like to have nothing happening at the fair. Thank you, 2020, but we didn't like that. Right? We want to be busy. We want to put on a fair. We want to put on events and host people.
What's one of those summer events that people look forward to, not just here locally, but even outside the area that come into this area?
Yeah, we have a lot of people from the Valley, Fresno, Bakersfield area. They come obviously anyway for the beaches and the cooler weather, but they do support us very well for fair time.
Awesome. Yeah. So talk to me about some of the competitions that you have coming up for the fair.
Okay, so all the exhibits and horse show and wine competition, all of those things are happening now. Exhibits include home arts, so that's going to be your jams, jellies, sewing, floriculture. That's all your flowers and plants that are blooming. You can enter those once they come in July. Hopefully they're blooming in July. And then there's scarecrows and all sorts of stuff. So you can go to midstatefair.com, enter to win is what it's labeled under, and you can enter anything. But this year we have a few highlighted programs that normally we have pretty small premiums. They're $3, $5, $10 perhaps. But there's some sponsors that have come in and stepped up to donate. Some of the winnings are $500 for first place. Oh, wow. So salsa making is one.
Ooh, salsa.
Yes, and that was a big one last year. We had 72 entries or something, I think, last year. So, but the winner gets $500.
Who won last year?
I don't remember who won last year, but it's on our website.
So do they have to be businesses, or can it just be individuals
entries? Yep. Wow. So you just have to enter. You have to make sure you enter. And then there's our Special Stars division, which is for people with disabilities, perhaps, and I believe it's youth, but they have a best themed slot machine that you can make out of cardboard, or you can make whatever and do that, and they can earn up to $500 if they win that. So there's lots of fun things that. Best themed floral arrangement. There's a few different ones. I think there's 6 this year that we're doing.
I think you guys just did the olive oil?
Olive oil, yes. Olive oil is complete. So those results came out. There's quite a few different. Oh yeah, apple pie. Apple pie. So that makes me think we had a board member, Jess Norris, who is no longer with us, but he was an apple pie fanatic and he loved the apple pie contest. So I always think of him whenever I think apple pie. But it's the entries are open now, and they close I think June 7th. So it's coming up. I mean, everybody thinks that's far away, especially with the weather like it is right now. It doesn't feel like fair because it's not hot enough. But last weekend should have given you a taste to go online, midstatefair.com, enter to win, and enter your things that you got really good at in COVID. Sewing, macrame.
And speaking today starts the 2 for Tuesdays.
Yes, today's 2 for Tuesdays, so you can get your season passes, buy one, get one free. And that's quite the deal. Our admission for an adult at the gate is $15 this year, so you can come 3 times and make your money because it'll be basically $35. A season pass is $70.
Oh, wow.
So you would get 2 adults for $70.
So big families, perfect. Because if you buy one youth, you get a youth for free.
Yep.
So
exactly. Or if you have friends that you think are coming in, and they're going to come 3 or 4 days, That's really the way to go. Every Tuesday in May. And there's 5 Tuesdays this month, so there's no excuse.
No excuse. And you guys try to make it affordable. Like you have the wristbands for the rides,
Yes,
right? Instead of being, cost a fortune for parents to bring their kids.
Exactly. And I think this year, I believe I don't exactly know the price. I think it's $40 for a pre-sale. Everything's going up, unfortunately, and the carnival is going to be amazing this year. There's 8 new rides that they're bringing, and one is called the Medusa or something, and it's 124 feet tall.
Oh, wow.
That sounds crazy and scary. And then and my kids will be there. They'll be riding all the rides, doing all those crazy things. And then, of course, the zipper's back because that's a staple you have to have.
Right, you
and
gotta have the
wheel, we'll have all those. But
Gotta
we're
scare the
also
kids.
bringing back the spinning coaster. It used to be called Crazy Mouse. This one's called the Plure, and it's going to be back. So that's a big one for us. And they're trying to fit in the flume ride, which is the water. It's like a log ride.
Like
type
okay.
thing. So, and we haven't had that for a few years. So
that's usually popular when it's hot.
that's usually popular when it's hot. So it's going to be a really great carnival this year. And
Wow.
Helm & Sons is our partner in that, and they're super excited to just come and bring it. They're on their way back from COVID as well. So, but yeah, pre-sale ride tickets will be closer to June when those go on sale, and we'll get them out, and it'll be a fun
and you guys
day.
usually have some organizations selling those, around as well.
Nonprofits. Yes.
Nonprofits.
That's actually our hope this year. It's been tough because our carnival's moving to all cashless and nothing hard ticket. Everything on your phone and that kind of stuff. So we've been working with them to try and figure out a way to help our nonprofits because they sell and then get a percentage of the sales. And so we wanted to continue with that, but that brought challenges with it being all cashless.
Right.
So but we are going to do that again. So that hopefully will start in May as well because we want to get them before school is let out.
What is one of your prized accomplishments, changes, from the time that you started with the fair to now that you really, take pride in?
Oh gosh. I think that's a tough one. There have been so many different changes, and honestly, it's such a group effort that it's not just one person who's come in and done the thing, transitioning to, that's a tough one.
I didn't mean to put you on the spot.
No, that's okay. We have so many. There's just so many things going through my head that it's like, oh, what should be it? There's not just one thing though. I mean, our Heritage Foundation, which is our nonprofit arm, they've been fantastic, and all the monies that they earn go right back into the fair, and they're really focused on 4-H and FFA. So they're the ones that covered our equestrian center. The covered arena was funded by the Heritage Foundation. Large donations from Jack and Phoebe Cook and George Hurst, obviously, but it was through the Heritage Foundation and their memberships that paid off those loans. And then the Livestock Pavilion and the Paso Pavilion, the new buildings on the north end of the grounds for the kids, that was also funded by the Heritage Foundation, and those are huge accomplishments. I mean, that is something that has really changed the dynamic of our business, because not only is it available for 4-H and FFA during our fair, where it's cooler, it's covered, you're not in the sun,
Right.
I mean, they really take pride in that. They upgraded the bathrooms, are beautiful. But it has allowed us to have some really top-notch interim events. Our rein cow horses, our cutting shows, those types of things that normally Vegas would maybe have come to the fair and been hosted on our grounds because we have a covered arena. So when it's raining, like today, the quarter horse show can continue having their show, which is really a big deal.
And we just had them on this morning about the fact that not only do they, you guys work really, really well with them. They're very, very thankful for you guys, and that they're able to bring these such large events, to, Paso Robles, and to help to kind of spur the economy.
Right, absolutely.
Just right here in our area.
Absolutely. Our events throughout the year probably bring around 500,000 people to the area, which is a lot of people coming for a show, a lot of beds being filled that might not be filled. I mean, I don't know. We have a bustling wine industry, obviously, that people really enjoy coming and going to. But I like to think that when they're coming to a horse show and they're spending 4 or 5 days at the horse show, they have a day off, they're going to go downtown, have something to eat. They're going to go to a winery and maybe taste some wine. We've incorporated into some of our events some wine tasting so that people can, just know the wares of what we have here in Paso Robles.
So, Colleen, what is some of your favorites there aside from being there? I mean, what are your personal favorites that you look forward to at the fair?
Food. I'm a foodie, right? So, but nothing beats greasy, gross food. I love greasy, gross food. So a hot dog on a stick, which really isn't that greasy, but a hot dog on a stick, I love. I love cinnamon rolls, the Old West cinnamon rolls. I look forward to a teriyaki chicken bowl every year. Last year we had a new vendor. They brought bratwurst, and they were really good. And they'll be back this year with a donut burger, which I'm going to have to try.
A donut burger?
Yeah, it's like a donut with burger on it.
Oh, boy.
We've got to try it, and bacon and everything. So we got to try that.
It's time you splurge, right?
Right. So, and then this year we also are bringing back the barnyard races. So pig races, turkey races, all of those things coming back. So I'm really excited for that because I just think those are adorable. And the fact that the pigs, they're just so little and they love Oreos, and that's what they get fed at the end of the race. They're so excited. And so that'll be really fun. That's on the south end of our grounds. And I really just look forward to seeing people that I only see once a year at the fair.
Right.
I mean, that's my favorite part is I walk down the Midway and it's like, oh my gosh, I haven't seen you since last fair.
Right.
It's really, really great. And it's just my favorite time of year. I love the heat. I'd rather be sweating than cold. I don't like I hate shoes. So the fact that I'm wearing shoes is a disaster. But
and that's really, a key, as far as like the fair. I mean, you see people, because we live in this high fast-paced, business. I mean, everybody's working, everybody's got their own schedules going on. But like when the fair comes around, it's like people, literally people sometimes say, they take their whole 2 weeks. Exactly.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. And, we have a lot of support from our community as far as hiring. We hire around 600 people a year, and that's just us. That doesn't include our vendors. It doesn't include our stage crew. I mean, it's mostly maintenance, event staff, which is our, it's not security because they aren't licensed and bonded security, but there are eyes on the ground to make sure if trouble's happening, they let the authorities know. All of our admissions, box office. I mean, we have a ton of people that we hire, and a lot of times it's retirees or it's school teachers who are off on the summer, and so they come and they work the fair, and that helps a ton. They are really great employees. We love having them, and we just have a lot of support.
So how does somebody get involved if they? I'm assuming you're still hiring for the fair. You're probably starting now.
We are hiring all the time for the fair. So if you go to midstatefair.com under applications, there's an application online, and it'll get you to the right place. So you can click that you want anything. You could click you want to work in the office, the box office, if you want to be stage crew, if you want to do event staff. Any of those things, you just click on the box and it gets it to the right person.
Do you still have the Junior Fair Board program available?
We still have Junior Fair. Yeah, I was on Junior Fair Board too.
I was too.
Yeah, that's funny. When were you in the Fair Board? When were you on it?
I was somewhere in the late 80s.
Okay, you were probably with my sister, and then I was like late 80s, early 90s.
Yeah, that's hilarious. That would be me.
When did you graduate?
In 90.
Okay, I was 92.
So
that's hilarious.
Yeah, so we're probably there.
Probably.
But it was super fun.
It is. It's
as a kid.
Great,
you kind of got. You weren't like VIP or nothing,
right.
But you got to wear the yellow jacket.
You got to go into the concert and you helped people find their seats, and then you got to see the show. You could stand and see the show, help people find the bathroom or whatever, and then you helped with the livestock, making sure they got on weigh days and all of that. So yeah, I really enjoyed Junior Fair Board, and we still do it. It's still.
So how does the kids get involved with that?
That's on midstatefair.com too. There's an application, and we accept applications through that, and then the kids from last year will come together and interview and get their crew together. That's way closer to fair. That's usually end of June, July. Because
it's almost like a junior CEO program,
right?
To where you're working, have to be accountable,
right?
Every day.
Yeah, a volunteer position.
Yeah,
and you get some benefits. You get a pass into the fair. You get into the shows. You get the dinner.
Yeah.
So water because it's hot, but.
So we still have a couple days open, right? For
3
shows?
more nights.
Can we share any? Do we get anything like that's underneath the cuffs that we can talk about?
We don't, unfortunately. This year has been really difficult booking entertainment. There's everybody is, after 2020, everybody wanted to work. It was just fill my schedule. And now they're kind of taking steps back, going, okay, well, let's plan this. Let's see what we can do. And then everybody's charging more. I mean, our ticket prices reflect it. It's every artist out there is charging more. So it's expensive. And we've got to make that balance.
Right.
Because, if you're going to SoFi Stadium to see Morgan Wallen, yeah, maybe you'll pay $1,500 a ticket, but you're at SoFi Stadium. At the California Mid-State Fair, you'd have to pay $2,500 a ticket. And,
right.
I don't know if our community is quite ready for that. I don't think I'm ready for that. I don't know if I would want to ask that of them.
But you have general tickets starting like at, what, $60, $70?
Yeah, most of our shows, granted, they're the back bleachers, but most of them, you're not going to pay more than $50.
Right.
So to see Luke Bryan, which is pretty amazing. And our arena isn't really that big. It's, it's a pretty small arena when you look at it compared to, if you go to T-Mobile, Save Mart, even Mountain View, if you're in the GA section and you're up at the top of that hill.
Yeah, but you guys do a pretty good job. You got the big Megatrons, the big TVs going on, and from the back of the grandstand to the stage. I mean, it's
really not that far.
It's
really not that far. I mean, it's just a rodeo arena, right? And
right.
Originally, it's a racetrack. So, and we don't even take all that space. It's just the inner space that we took from the racetrack. So, it is a really small area. We fit 14,000 plus people in there when on a sellout show, and it's it's a great venue, really, because it is so small, and it's all really good.
Very cool.
Really good. Yeah, and I guess another aspect I really like about fair, and especially now, is our livestock program, our 4-H and FFA program, the support that we have for them. Our community has come and just really stepped up with the auction and purchasing the animals for these kids, and they put so much work into it, making it a market animal ready for market. And it's really fun to watch the progression of it all. It comes with its challenges, but at the end of the day, it's fun to go down into the barns and see it. It's almost like old school. Not everybody's sitting there on their phone scrolling. I mean, they're playing cards. They're enjoying being at the fair and with each other, and I love that.
With the kids,
I really love that.
Yeah, that's super important.
And in today's day and age, there's not as many opportunities to do that, and that's one thing I think our area is a little lax on. We don't really have that opportunity for kids to get together and really just have fun. The Ravine has really been a wonderful addition to the community because kids can go there. You can send your kids there and not, I mean, you have to worry, of course, everybody worries, but it's just fun times for kids to have. And I feel like the livestock area is that for kids, and the carnival is that for kids. I mean, we have such good partners that really want to see kids just have a good time and be in an environment where they're not just constantly on their phone. Or,
well, we were talking about it before too, a little bit about, feeling safe as, as parents, your kids. I mean, you got plenty of security and sheriffs and I mean, just those people there, that presence,
right?
There, and if anything does, come about, it's immediately, taken care of.
We have great partnerships with San Luis sheriffs, the Highway Patrol, who is our actual police for a state facility. Paso PD is incredible. I mean, when you think you're going to have 300,000 people and to close to 400,000 people over 12 days, that puts a lot of strain on your fire department and on your police department. And they've just been really great to work with. They've
That's
been
awesome.
really good. Mm-hmm. So
Well, very cool. Colleen,
Yeah.
thank you so much.
It was a pleasure.
And
Thank you.
We're definitely going to get you on again.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, we could sit here and talk,
Right.
literally
I
all
can
day
talk about
long.
the fair all day.
I mean, because we didn't even tap into, some of the other stuff that you guys have going
Yeah.
on. So we're definitely going to get you back on.
All right.
So, today starts 2 for Tuesday.
Yes.
Only in the month of May.
Yes.
On Tuesdays.
Tuesdays.
So
yes. You can
buy
go
one,
online. You
Yep.
can go online too. So.
Buy one, get one. And we just, big announcement yesterday.
Yep. And a couple more coming.
Luke Bryan yesterday, and we have a couple more coming.
Yeah. And Luke goes on sale Friday at 10 a.m.
Awesome.
So
CaliforniaMidstateFair.com.
Yep. Don't go, just midstatefair.com. Don't go to any other site because you want to make sure you're getting them from midstatefair.com.
And there has been some of that's happened.
a lot of that has
where
happened.
people are buying tickets that
Yes.
are not tickets.
Legit. So you
So-
got to, midstatefair.com is where you go, buy tickets, make sure it says it at the top.
Midstatefair.com.
Yep.
Do not type in anything else.
Nope.
Make sure it says midstatefair.com.
Yes. That's the
Awesome.
only official ticket.
Perfect. Well, thanks for coming
Excellent.
on. We really
Thank
appreciate
you.
it.
Thank you.
Well, there you have it, guys. California Mid-State Fair coming up.
July
This
19th.
July 19th, right?
That's it.
Paso Robles Event Center. You don't want to miss it. A lot of good stuff happening. And as always, guys, we can't do this without our sponsors. We'd like to thank Escalar Wines, Wine Travelers Hideaway, Rancho Sestero Meat Cutting, Visit Atascadero, 805 Customs, Story Termite and Pest Control, El Red Rooster, Pacific 805 Spas, Airflow Filter Services, Kennedy Club Fitness, Amy and Jamie's Place, Paso Robles Furniture, and now 5 Star Rain Gutters, guys. Thanks again. We'll see you at the fair.